Today, I will take you into the world of psychological triggers, into the science of why people say yes, how decisions are shaped, and how influence works on the deepest, most automatic levels of the human mind. Robert Cialdini's Influence is not just a book, it is a map of human behavior. It reveals the invisible strings that guide choices, actions, purchases, beliefs, sometimes without us even realizing it. This is a story about persuasion, but also about protection. Because once you understand how influence works, you not only become better at guiding others, you also learn how to defend yourself. Cialdini identifies 6 universal principles of persuasion. Each one is rooted in biology, evolution, or social conditioning. Each one affects you every single day. Let's go through them, not as a dry list, but as a narrative of human behavior. Principle 1. Reciprocity. I give to you, you give to me. Imagine someone gives you a small gift, a free sample, a favor, or even a compliment. Suddenly, you feel a subtle tension, an instinctive wish to return something. This is reciprocity, one of the oldest social rules in human history. It kept tribes alive, it built trust, it ensured cooperation. Cialdini shows that the rule still governs us. A free mint at a restaurant increases tips. A small favor makes people agree to bigger requests. A free trial makes customers feel obligated to subscribe. Reciprocity is powerful because it operates on autopilot. The essential insight. When someone gives us something unexpected, we feel pressure to balance the scales. Marketers know it. Negotiators know it. Leaders know it. And now, you know it too. 2. Principle. 2. Commitment and consistency. I must act like the person I believe I am. Human beings crave psychological consistency. Once we commit to something, even something small, we feel driven to behave in alignment with that commitment. Why? Because inconsistency feels uncomfortable. It threatens our identity. Cialdini gives powerful examples. Get someone to say, I support this, and they are far more likely to act on it later. If a person signs a small petition, they're much more likely to agree to a major request later. Public commitments are the strongest. We hate contradicting ourselves in front of others. In marketing, this is why. Subscription trials work, yes ladders work, and micro-commitments online are incredibly effective. Consistency makes people predictable. It shapes behavior quietly, from the inside out. 3rd principle. 3. Social proof. If others are doing it, it must be right. Humans are social creatures. When we're unsure, we look to others for guidance. If a restaurant is full, it must be good. If a video has millions of views, it must be worth watching. If many people like something, we assume we should too. Cialdini explains that social proof is strongest in 3 situations. 1. Uncertainty. When we don't know what to do, we copy others. 2. Similarity. We follow people like us, peers, friends, colleagues. 3. Numbers. The more people do something, the more legitimate it appears. Social proof can save lives, like helping crowds evacuate during emergencies, but it can also manipulate fake reviews, artificial likes, bots creating an illusion of popularity. The key insight. We trust the crowd more than we trust ourselves, often without questioning it. 4. Principle. 4. Authority. Experts must be right. From childhood, we are trained to respect authority, teachers, doctors, leaders, experts, institutions. Authority gives us a sense of safety. Listening to experts saved lives throughout evolution. But in modern life, authority can be used to influence us, even when the authority is only symbolic. Cialdini's research shows a doctor's white coat increases compliance. A confident tone makes people obey more. Titles like professor or CEO dramatically increase persuasion. Even clothing can simulate authority. Authority is not inherently good or bad, but the lesson is simple. When a person sounds like an expert, our critical thinking shuts down. Knowing this protects us. Using it ethically can help us lead. V. Principle 5. Liking. We say yes to people we like. One of the most intuitive and yet most underestimated principles. We comply more with people who compliment us, look attractive, share our interests, show similarity, make us laugh, or simply make us feel seen. This is why great persuaders don't start with arguments. They start with relationships. Cialdini identifies 3 major drivers of liking. 1. Physical attractiveness. We unconsciously associate it with intelligence, kindness, and success. 2. Similarity. We like those who share our background, style, values, or hobbies. 3. Praise. Genuine compliments disarm resistance instantly. The lesson? People don't follow arguments. They follow people. 6. Principle. 6. Scarcity. What is rare becomes valuable. The final principle is perhaps the most emotionally powerful one. Scarcity triggers urgency and desire. When something becomes limited, restricted, or temporary, the brain interprets it as more valuable. Examples: only 2 seats left. Last day of the sale. Limited edition. Enrollment closes at midnight. Cialdini explains that scarcity works for 2 reasons. 1. Loss aversion. We fear losing more than we desire gaining. 2. Reactance. When our freedom is limited, we rebel by wanting the restricted item even more. Scarcity turns ordinary things into irresistible ones. But here's the warning: scarcity can make us rush into decisions we would never make otherwise. 7. Why these principles work. The psychology underneath. Cialdini emphasizes that these 6 principles work because they operate in the unconscious parts of the mind. Ancient instincts, automatic habits, social wiring, emotional shortcuts. In a world full of choices, influence acts as a cognitive shortcut, a way to save mental energy by following predictable patterns. This is neither good nor bad. It is simply human nature. But knowing these principles changes everything. You move from being influenced to influencing with intention. 8. Influence as a tool, ethical or dangerous. Cialdini never presents persuasion as manipulation. He draws a clear line. Ethical influence helps people make good decisions. Unethical influence exploits their blind spots. Marketers, leaders, creators, coaches, and professionals can use these principles to guide, inspire, and educate. But the same principles can be misused to deceive, pressure, or distort reality. Understanding the mechanics gives you power. Power to persuade and power to protect. 9. Real-world examples of Cialdini's principles. Reciprocity. Free samples raise sales dramatically, not because the samples are valuable, but because the gesture is. Commitment and consistency. Fitness apps ask you to set a goal. Once you do, you feel compelled to behave like the person who made that goal. Social proof. Shows with laugh tracks are rated as funnier, even when people know the laughter is fake. Authority. Financial scams often use fake titles like senior analyst to build false trust. Liking. Negotiations often start with small talk because rapport changes outcomes. Scarcity. The fear of missing out drives modern consumer behavior more than features or price. Each principle blends into daily life. You cannot escape influence, but you can learn to see it. X. The final message of Cialdini's book. Influence is everywhere. In every conversation, every advertisement, every negotiation, every social interaction. We are constantly persuading and being persuaded. Cialdini's message is not to fear this, but to understand it. To use these principles to communicate clearly, to guide responsibly, to protect your choices, and to live intentionally. Influence becomes dangerous only when we remain unaware of it. Knowledge gives control. Conclusion. Influence is one of the foundational books of modern psychology. It teaches that persuasion is not magic. It is structure, predictability, and human nature. It shows that people respond to generosity, people stay loyal to their identity, people follow the crowd, people obey authority, people trust those they like, people desire what is scarce. These truths shape every part of life: business, relationships, marketing, leadership, negotiations. And when you understand them, you don't just persuade better. You think better. You choose better. You live with awareness. This was the story of Robert Cialdini's influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. Subscribe for more powerful, deep book narrations.